This Battlefield report will cover the most recent events of the Second Intergalactic War. In the wake of last week's successful major order to convert 2 billion Terminids into Element 710, the bugs rallied for their own cause, seeking vengeance for what they term the, quote, genocide of their sentient species. However, it is widely acknowledged that these primitive bugs lack the capacity for coherent thought or emotion, so their plight can be outright ignored. And in the West, the automatons had begun yet another massive offensive in an effort to exterminate our valued citizens and cripple Super-Earth's control over the Western Galactic Rim. In an effort to stem the enemy advances and bleed the bugs and bots dry, General Brash had issued a major order to successfully defend 10 planets over the coming week and make our foes pay dearly for each planet taken, thereby weakening them for a future counterattack. Projections by so-called experts were grim, and an epic battle was about to begin, one which would define the war, shake the foundation of the Helldiver Corps, and etch its mark in the history of the Federation. With the fate of Super-Earth teetering on a knife's edge, the Helldivers stood as vanguards of hope. Failure was not an option. The bot attack started on Lasath, Charon Prime, and Marfark, and all three battles were quickly lost as Helldivers reeled in the face of a fresh automaton force. The second wave hit Maesa, Carbal 7, Chopessa 4, and Menkent, and all 4 planets were lost. The bots even brazenly launched a direct assault on Vernon Wells. Battle there was fierce, but the lines were stretched too thin, and the planet was overwhelmed. And with the loss of the Western Front headquarters located on this planet, the entire front was at risk of utter collapse. The automatons were set to push all the way to Malevelon Creek by the end of the month, if the Helldivers could not stop them. Super-Earth forces were in desperate need of a win to bolster morale, and it just so happened that a win was on the horizon. While all of this was taking place in the West, the ongoing Terminid push in the East was tying down a significant portion of the Helldiver Corps and stressing manpower reserves to the brink. Last Friday, Osha Une was attacked and narrowly lost, pushing our forces back to Fori Prime, which was attacked the following day and defended. But one of the fiercest clashes in the war yet was about to erupt on Astanu, marking the beginning of a grueling series of battles for control of the planet. The onslaught began last Friday with the first Battle of Astanu, where Helldivers fought fiercely and successfully defended the planet. This was followed by the second battle on Saturday, the third on Monday, and the fourth on Tuesday, all resulting in Helldiver victories. Despite the unyielding assaults, Astanu stood firm through the 5th Battle of Astanu on Wednesday, and the 6th battle began on Thursday, persisting until Friday, with the defenders ultimately prevailing once more, solidifying their hold on the planet amidst the chaos of the Terminid offensive. And throughout this week, Helldivers were able to advance past Fori Prime through Osha Une, and by the end of the week, boots were on the ground attempting to secure Omicron. The Terminid's offensive had run out of gas. With fuel tanks on super destroyers topped off, we go back to the automaton front, where the balance of power was about to shift. On Tuesday, the bots began their attack on Mort in the Tsar sector, where legendary battles on Mantis and Dropnir took place against the automaton vanguard months ago. And this would be where the Helldivers would finally make their stand against the automaton blitz. Mort was successfully defended, and the march south was stalled in its tracks. A subsequent flanking maneuver through the Trigon sector was also crushed, with successful defenses on both Virelia 5 and Usto 2, and Helldivers fully liberated Vernon Wells the following day. The major automaton offensive in the West was over, but it was a Pyrrhic victory. 21 planets saw ferocious combat this past week, with billions of civilians caught in the crossfire. But General Brash declared that the major order had been won on Thursday, and 50 war medals were issued out to the force for their heroic efforts. To celebrate, all Helldivers were given an additional 2 full minutes on their lunchtime accommodation. Congratulations, but there's no time for hamburgers and milkshakes yet. It's time for a counteroffensive. On Friday, General Brash issued his next order out to the Corps, Operation Legitimate Undertaking, an effort to strike back at the automatons and reclaim experimental weapon technology left behind on Chuha and Penta. Intel suggests that the automatons are searching for the hidden facilities that house this tech, so time is of the essence. On Penta, Helldivers can recover the airburst rocket launcher that was produced beginning when the plans for the aerial gunship were uncovered on Troost last month. And on Chuha, a new anti-tank mine emplacement was being developed to counter the factory Striders. It's likely that by the time one is found, the other will be lost, so Helldivers must democratically prioritize which one they want to save first. Oh, and of course the civilians, save the civilians too. And by Saturday morning, Helldivers had made their decision by retaking Lassath and making planetfall on Penta. Airburst rocket launcher caches were discovered, and battlefield stress testing is ongoing. Soon, the Lakal sector will once again be under Super Earth control. In other news this week, it was reported on Monday that Helldivers wearing this blue and white armor were being deliberately targeted by other Helldivers on the battlefield. Super Earth High Command has officially condemned such actions, reminding Helldivers that this is a promotional set of armor for the Sumi Corporation frozen yogurt. On Tuesday, the research and development intern responsible for suggesting the creation of the GP31 grenade pistol was posthumously promoted to sergeant for their ingenuity. Of course, this individual had been lawfully executed for making an unauthorized suggestion to a superior, but the Helldiver Corps thanks him for his bravery. And on Thursday, Super Earth High Command issued a statement to dispel any rumors that Eagle pilots have been physically augmented to better perform their duty, of which photographic evidence had surfaced. This image here has clearly been doctored, but if you see any personnel with unauthorized body modifications, they may be an automaton dissident. And to close things out this week, High Command would like to reassure Helldivers that some quality of life changes are in the pipeline, most notably augmentations to the war table to show planet decay rates, supply lines, and liberation progress, as well as a means for better communication amongst Helldivers through the Super Destroyer without the need for third-party applications. Would you like to know more?